cabinet shakeup. Secretary of the Interior Ken Salazar says he is leaving in March, and now there are rumblings Stephen Chu will depart his post as energy secretary. And don't forget the recent resignation of EPA chief Lisa Jackson. So what impact will the cabinet mix-up have on President Obama's energy policy during his second term? Joining me now is Tom Borelli, senior fellow at FreedomWorks. Tom, let's jump right into it. Absolutely. I mean, Stephen Chu, loved the glucose economy. He wanted everything to run on plants. He was a theoretical physicist, I believe, from
Nobel Prize winner.
Yeah. Right. Definitely not a big fan of traditional fossil fuel. So him leaving could be a good sign, but it just depends on who replaces him.
Oh, no.
Oh,
the American
sorry.
people brought back President Obama. So the war on energy, war on fossil fuels is absolutely going to continue. I believe the president even said something today during his speech about climate change. What that means for coal stocks, a great shorting opportunity, because the war on coal means coal is really going to be under a lot of pressure with all the rules and all the regulations this year.
Let's talk about some of the evidence that we've seen so far. I mean, the fiscal cliff legislation included $12 billion in extensions for wind energy through tax credits, which I was kind of surprised about, given how pared down it seemed like things were getting to try and get this through, and somehow that snuck in as well. So that shows you how important it is to the administration.
Well, absolutely, and I believe it was the administration that wanted that piece in. Not only was an extension of the wind production energy tax for wind turbines, but there was also a lot of for biofuels.
Yeah.
And also, I think, electric motorcycles. So they're doubling down on green. That's not going to change. It has nothing to do about the environment. It has everything to do about making money for Obama's cronies in the green energy space.
Well, and, certainly maybe if you're a shareholder, you could get a piece of that and invest in those so that you could try and profit along with it. One thing that I heard a lot before the election from people in the energy industry is that they really believed that after the election it would clear the way politically for President Obama to be a proponent of the XL pipeline. I sort of doubted that at the time because I felt like he fundamentally was against the idea. What evidence have you seen now to support one side or the other?
Well, think of it this way. He got reelected without approving a pipeline that could have brought us more to energy security and jobs. He got elected without that. So why is he going to do it now? I think he mentioned today his climate change agenda is going to be very high. There's been talk about a carbon tax. But I think what we're really going to see is the regulatory agencies, Department of Interior, EPA, really ratcheting down on those regulations to force the price of regular fuels higher.
Yeah, maybe some of these posts will be filled by people who are more friendly, though. We can't hold out hope that this is a possibility. Have we heard any names or?
Well, I would expect it to be worse. And there's also regulations in the pipeline. Right now, there's greenhouse gas rules in the pipeline. There's a proposed rule that if it goes through, and I don't say why it wouldn't, it would stop new construction of new coal-fired power plants.
Yeah.
And then there's a new one that they're talking about for existing power plants and then also refineries. So he's going to be using the EPA. Department of Interior has a proposed rule to regulate fracking, which is going to be a huge opportunity for our economy. So I'm really concerned about this.
And fracking down the road, just real quick, you think positive or negative, the re-election?
I think they're going to do everything they can to slow that down. Department of Interior has a proposed rule that will cost up to $1.5 billion extra. So that's a lot of regulations, no really good news on our economy, but yet there's a huge opportunity. We could be the Saudi Arabia of energy by 2020 if we are allowed to get to it. I don't think he's going to allow us to do it.
I'm going to get my bicycle out. Tom Borelli, thanks so much. Yeah. All right. Thank you.